Hi there, welcome to HODL UP, a Bitcoin mining game. HODL is Bitcoin speak for hold. The player who has HODLed the most Bitcoin when the last block is mined wins. To learn to play, we'll start by watching a few example rounds. These transactions are the essence of the game. Simply put, transactions are a set of cards that communicate a message about who sends Bitcoin and who receives it. Each group of cards is called a block. Blue sends 2 tokens to red. Purple sends 1 token to blue. Orange sends 4 tokens to purple. Notice how the Bitcoin tokens move according to each transaction. Transactions get packaged between 2 markers. In front, there's an identifier that communicates, "Hey everyone, this starts a new transaction." And at the end, there's another marker that says, "This ends the transaction." The markers are called hash cards, and they look like this. Hash plus blue sends 2 tokens to red plus hash. Notice how each block has a number. The block value is equal to the sum of its 5 cards. The lower the number, the better. 6 plus 2 plus 5 plus 3 minus 1 equals 15. Okay, one last tip before we move on. All blocks are linked. The last card of each block becomes the first card in the next. Notice you don't have a traditional playing board here. Instead, you have these hexagon cards. There are 17 of them, and when you set them next to one another, they become the time chain. Go ahead and be creative in how you set them up. The shape can be zigzag, straight, circular, anything you desire. The one requirement is they must be in sequence. To do that, follow the little gold bars. 1 bar is first, 2 bars is second, and so on. If you don't want to count bars, just flip them over and you'll be on your way with the handy numbers on the back. The purpose of the time chain is to track completed transactions like the examples we just saw. There's a second purpose, and that is to hold future Bitcoin, the Bitcoin which have not yet been mined. As new transaction blocks are added to the chain, Bitcoin move from the time chain to player wallets. Play progresses along the time chain until the final card is done. That's the end of play, when everyone counts and compares the Bitcoin in their wallets. We saw wallets at the start of this video. There are 6, each with a distinct color representing different entities or players. All 6 are needed in the game, regardless of the number of players. Let's say we have 4 people playing today. Their respective wallets remain face up, showing the fire and icicles. The 2 remaining wallets, however, get turned over with treasury face up. The purpose of wallets is to track money, the Bitcoin tokens. Wallets also track your assets in the form of mining rigs. It's like your own mini accounting ledger. Zooming in, you see the hot wallet area. This is where Bitcoin are added to the wallet. During the game, you can move tokens over to the right side. That's your cold storage, where your tokens are protected from other players trying to take them. These beige tokens with the title B on them are the Bitcoin tokens, of course. Each represents 500,000 Bitcoin. So the total value in the game is 42 times 500,000, which equals 21 million. All tokens start on the time chain. Match the number on each time chain card. By the way, you'll notice there are 3 phases to the game. The first phase has 4 tokens per card. Then it drops 2 tokens per card. Then it drops in half again to 1 token per card. The first time chain card, the Genesis block, has 6 tokens. These get distributed 1 per wallet before the start of play. For player wallets, Bitcoin go in the hot wallet section. For the unassigned or non-player wallets, Bitcoin go in the treasury. There are only 12 of the red mining rig tokens. As the name suggests, these are necessary to mine. No rig, no mining. More rigs, more mining. The number of rigs you have is the number of cards you can draw. Every player starts with 1. Place them in the top section of the wallets. The remaining rigs are split between the unassigned wallets. If you're fortunate enough to have 6 players, there are no unassigned wallets. Each player simply starts with 2 rigs. You're gonna have a love-hate relationship with the dial, the difficulty adjustment. When players don't successfully mine Bitcoin on their turn, they adjust the dial to make the next block easier. When players do mine Bitcoin and add a new block, they adjust the dial to slow play down and make the next block harder. Sounds counterintuitive, but it's actually pretty cool. Here's how it works. The number showing is a threshold. It communicates to everyone the first requirement to mine a new block. We'll get to the other criteria soon, but for the moment, the key is a new block cannot be added unless the block sum, the total of the 5 card values, is less than or equal to difficulty adjustment. Bitcoiners love 21, so we start the game there. When a player successfully mines a new block, the dial is adjusted down by 1. Follow the red arrow. When a player completes a turn but does not mine a new block, no matter why, the dial is adjusted up by 1. Follow the green arrow. Now back to those transactions from the start of this video. Those square cards go by the name nonce cards. There are 3 types. When you start, place each deck face down. Make sure you shuffle, especially the first time you play. Player cards have 6 colors, which match the 6 colored wallets. As you saw earlier, these communicate who sends and who receives. Bitcoin cards come in 4 amounts: 1 token, 2 tokens, 3 tokens, and 4 tokens. The third type of the square nonce cards is hash cards. There are 100 unique hash cards. You need 1 at the start and 1 at the end of each block. Players maintain 4 nonce cards in their hands at all times. 2 player cards, 1 Bitcoin card, and 1 hash card. These are placed up in transaction order: a player, Bitcoin, player, hash. Here's how you play. On your turn, choose from 3 options: mine for Bitcoin, buy a new mining rig, move Bitcoin from your unprotected hot wallet to cold storage. As I said in the beginning, the heart of the game is transactions. They only become real, however, when they are added to the time chain. This is mining. When you mine, you can either use the cards already in your hand, or you can draw new cards to replace 1 or more. You are limited to 1 new card per mining rig you possess. If you have 1 rig, you can draw 1 new card, and you must discard 1 card. If you have 2 rigs, you can draw 2 new cards. You can move the player cards between the sends and receives positions at any time. Interesting dynamics can impact your decision-making. For example, you may find you benefit from a transaction sending a token from yourself to someone else because you gain more tokens from the blockchain reward. Here are the 3 mining validation criteria you must meet to add a new block. The block total must be less than or equal to the difficulty adjustment. The color sending the Bitcoin must have enough in the hot wallet, excluding tokens protected in cold storage. The color sending the Bitcoin must either agree to send, note, unassigned wallets represent non-playing characters who always agree to transactions, or fail to defend. This means the sending player rolls the defense die but is attacked with a phishing scam, SIM swap, or stolen key phrases. The bad guys win and move the Bitcoin against the player's will. Let's take a closer look at the defense die. There is a 50-50 chance the bad guys will win. The snowflakes, however, signal success defending one's Bitcoin. Not only do players keep their Bitcoin, they move the amount attacked, which can be up to 4 tokens, to cold storage. When you have a successful block meeting all 3 criteria, multiple things happen. First, Bitcoin tokens move from wallet to wallet according to the transaction. Second, the tokens on your next time chain card are moved to your hot wallet. Third, the new block cards are stacked on the time chain with the hash card on top. Fourth, you replenish your hand with 4 new nonce cards. Fifth, you update the difficulty dial down, harder by 1. When you do not meet all criteria, update the difficulty adjustment up, easier by 1, and pass it clockwise to the next player. That wraps up option 1, mining. Option 2 is buying a new mining rig. You forego the opportunity to mine, but increase your number of rigs and thereby increase your chance of winning blocks in the future. You can draw an additional nonce card every time you mine for the rest of the game. To execute the purchase, move 1 Bitcoin token from your wallet to an unassigned wallet that has a mining rig. Put the Bitcoin token in the treasury section. Then, move 1 rig from that wallet to your own wallet. Since you did not add a new block, turn the difficulty adjustment up, easier, by 1 before passing it to the next player. You have a third option, moving Bitcoin to cold storage. Perhaps you've built up some Bitcoin and the other players start targeting you. You have a 50-50 chance of defending your Bitcoin in your hot wallet with the defense die, but you can move 1 or 2 tokens per turn from your hot wallet to cold storage, where it will sit 100% safe from attack. Since you did not add a new block, turn the difficulty adjustment up easier by 1 before passing it to the next player. So those are your 3 options. You can mine, get a new rig, or protect by moving to cold storage. Regardless of which option you choose, remember to update the difficulty adjustment before passing it to the next player. Play continues clockwise until the last Bitcoin has been mined. That's it, you're ready to hodl. Good luck, may the best hodler win.